Today, I'm going to be teaching you all about bar graphs. We're going to make a bar graph all about people's favorite sports. But in order to do that, we need to ask some friends for help. Let's find out what their favorite sports are, and then we're going to put it into a bar graph.
My favorite sport is football.
My favorite sport is track.
My favorite sport is soccer.
My favorite sport is soccer.
My favorite sport is swimming.
My favorite sport is gymnastics. My favorite sport is soccer.
Addie, what's your favorite sport?
Soccer.
My favorite sport is basketball.
My favorite thing is baseball. My favorite sport is swimming.
Here is our bar graph. The first thing that I'd like you to look at is the title. Our title is Favorite Sport because we decided to gather data about our friends' favorite sports. If you were gathering data about your favorite food, then your title might be Favorite Food. Make sure your title matches your data. Then, the other important parts of our bar graph are our categories. So down here at the bottom, we chose to put football, soccer, swimming, and other. Along here, we wrote number of people. So we are going to see if we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people who voted for their favorite sport. A bar graph can be written this way, or it can be turned and have the number of people moving this direction and our categories here. Now we're going to fill in our information using the data that we gathered from our friends. So let's look at our first category. Our first category is football. So when we asked our friends what their favorite sport was, we had one friend that said football was his favorite sport. So now we're going to fill in our bar graph up to the number 1. I'm going to use blue for this one. When you're doing your bar graph, you want to fill it in all the way up to the line so that if you were to look at this bar graph, you could see that there was one person who chose football as their favorite sport. The next sport that we asked our friends about was soccer. When we asked our friends about soccer, we found out that there were 4 friends who had soccer as their favorite sport. So we're going to fill in our bar graph, not just 1, not just 2, continue to 3, and all the way up to 4. And you can fill in your bar graph even nicer with your coloring as well. But I want to make sure that you understand how to fill out a bar graph. So you could clearly see that 4 people chose soccer. The next category that we have is swimming. 2 of our friends chose swimming. So we're going to fill in our bar graph up to the number 2. Now we had quite a few friends who chose other sports. So what we did was we made a category for other sports. So they could have chosen football, soccer, swimming, or anything else would go in the category of other. So let's see. We had one friend who chose baseball. We had one friend who chose track. We had one friend who chose gymnastics and one friend who chose basketball. So altogether, that's 4 friends in our other category. So we're going to fill in our bar graph up to the number 4. You can see that a bar graph is a great tool for showing data. You'll be able to look at this graph and instantly see how many friends chose each of our categories for their favorite sport. Our favorite sports were soccer and other. Our least favorite sports were football. This is a great example of a bar graph. Thank you for learning all about bar graphs with me. That was a lot of fun. Now, what's your favorite sport? Maybe you can ask some friends and do your own bar graph too.